The truth is, marketing has changed a lot. A lot of people are stuck because they're trying things or doing things that worked probably back in 2012 or 2014. And even the last 6 months, the market has changed considerably. So if you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're a professional service provider, and you're just throwing up some ads that you feel like may work based on your industry and the service you're offering, it is likely that you're stuck and it's not working. And the problem is, you're probably stuck because you just don't know what you don't know. I know that might sound a bit harsh, but just stick with me for a second. It's always easier looking backwards and connecting the dots, isn't it? I mean, hindsight's a beautiful thing. But what about if you don't know what you don't know and it's not working, you've tried ads or you've tried an agency, there's likely that there are some pillars, some things that are missing that can take a person from meeting on the internet all the way to being a client. And in this video, I'm going to show you what likely is missing and what you need to have inside your business to actually being able to consistently and predictably start getting new clients every month through running ads. For a moment, just imagine what life would be like if this was actually figured out and you actually have something in place that's working. Imagine every week actually having 4 or 5 new clients coming in every week or more, depending on how you want to run your marketing and your business. Wouldn't that be nice? In order for this to work though, all I request from you is an open mind. Imagine for a moment if there is a way forward. If there is a way where you could actually have and operate a business where you can be more removed and at the same time you're bringing in 4, 5, 6, 7 new clients every week consistently and predictably. You probably already know there's some people out there who are doing that very well. So why is it that you're not? Wouldn't it be nice to finally figure it out? Just like Jesse did, who's a property advisor, who's generated an extra $240,000 in just 16 weeks from when he launched the right way. Or Cameron, who's a financial planner up in Brisbane, Australia, who generated an extra $1.1 million in extra revenue inside just 10 months. So what's the problem here? What is really going on? Well, first of all, if you're a professional service provider and you're only relying on referrals, that means you've got no predictability or consistency. And I love this quote: doing business without advertising is like winking at a girl in the dark. You know what you're doing, but nobody else does. Another way to put it is, imagine you've got this beautiful website about your business, everything's 100% right. Now imagine sticking your website in the middle of the desert like a billboard. You're there, it looks beautiful, but nobody knows you exist. And that's a problem. And this obviously creates this continuous gap of where you are and where you want to be, and you just don't know which path to take, which becomes, quite frankly, really scary, right? Because nobody wants to waste money or fail or have that fear inside of them of which path do I take from all these options, which way do I go? Especially in a time where we live, where skepticism is super high and trust is really low. That's where we are right now. And that's a difficult aspect to have in needing to make a decision in which is the right path forward. So your ads don't work, and it's probably because they're based on feelings and not fact. And most ads also don't work because they forget all the stuff after the click that actually turns a click into a client. And we're going to talk about that, exactly what you should have in place in this day and age where we're living in such an untrusting and difficult times of trying to get strangers to do business with us. So the thing is, what got you here won't get you there. I love that quote. So likely if you're an established business owner and let's say you're already doing like $20,000 or $25,000 a month as a coach, consultant, or as a professional service provider, you've probably done really well. But a lot of businesses I speak with, they're also stuck at that level. And what that means is everything you've done in the past, what got you to this point, fantastic, but what you've been doing won't get you to the next level. That means you've got to do things differently to get a different result. And most people, this famous quote is that they can just keep doing the same thing over and over and hoping to get a different result, which is the definition of insanity, right? And so it's based on just hope, not on a strategy or doing something different in order to get a different result. So the thing you shouldn't really fear here is failure. you should really fear being in the exact same place next year as you are today. Really have a think about that for a moment, right? Because there is that fear of failure of doing something, but the problem is if you don't do anything, it's like forfeiting the game. It's like you're not even on the playing field playing. You're on the sidelines hoping to win the game, and you've got to get onto the playing field. Whether that's with us or anybody else, you've got to keep pushing forward, right? You either learn or you win. That's how winning is kind of done. So the 4 pillars to being a multi-million-dollar boss. I'm going to go through the 4 pillars that you got to have inside your business. We do. Every client we work with must have those 4 pillars. If they're missing any of these pillars, you are not getting clients. I don't care if you've got the best ad in place, you are not getting clients. So how? But first, the power of impossible thinking. The biggest roadblock that you might be facing right now, and stick with me again, indulge me for a moment, but it might just be you. And that could be the way you're thinking. I want to take you back to 1954 to prove my point. In 1954, a gentleman by the name of Roger Bannister was the first person to run the mile in under 4 minutes. But what's interesting is, with all this time leading up to 1954, nobody thought it was possible for the human body to run sub 4 minutes. Now then only a few weeks later of that actually happening and somebody seeing it and being able to believe it, an Australian ran it in 3 minutes and 58. And now over the last half century, thousands and thousands of people have run sub 4 minutes. It's when you can see it, you believe it. And my aim in this video is to show you what's possible and back it up with proof so you can see that if you've got these pillars in place, your business will be successful. And so from a psychological point of view, what that's referred to these days, it's called the Bannister effect. It refers to the mental shift that occurs when a significant barrier is broken. It demonstrates to others that what was once thought to be unachievable or impossible is now possible. And that new belief gets people to forge ahead and actually get it done. So there are 2 ways to look at that. Right now, if you're a coach, consultant, professional service provider that's mostly reliant on referrals and you're doing everything, that means you don't own a business, you own a job. Because if you take yourself out of it, there's nothing left. And what I want to kind of share with you in this video and get across to you is that being a business operator, you want to start relying on systems and team. Systems comes first, team can be built later upon that. So what does that mean? Well, McDonald's is a pretty straightforward one. You've got 14-year-old kids who run a multi-million-dollar business. Why? Because they run the guardrails up of systems and processes of an entire pipeline. And I want to show you how you can get your own client acquisition pipeline in place yourself to make sure these are the things you need, whether you're using us, anybody else, or doing it yourself. If you don't have the 4 pillars that what I'll share with you, it will not work. And you'll see why it won't work if you've got any of these pillars missing. Just like Andrew, a mortgage broker that came to us, and he said before he worked with us, and by the way, this is a screenshot of one of our YouTube videos. You can find it. I'll share with you in a moment what our YouTube channel is. All these stories that I share with you, you can look at them yourself. You can hear it from their own words. So it's not just me putting words up on the screen. I want you to be able to research it and go and have a look and watch the video. Andrew talked about being a mortgage broker, that before he worked with us, he felt like he was in a desert without a compass, completely aimless. When we launched him, within just 7 days, an extra $20,000. But before I go on, why should you listen to this clown? So a little bit about me. I'm the creator of Smart Marketing Success. We're a marketing and sales company. We look at the entire customer journey, not just an ad. It's 20% of the customer journey, and I will go into that in a moment. Before I became a marketing person, going back to, there's a young photo of me being 20 years old. I joined the New South Wales Police. I eventually became a detective in the Major Crime Squad. I was there for 13 years, up till the age of 33. I'm in my 50s now. And that was the first exposure I got to really a structure and systems of how things to be done. In an emergency, where there's high stress, high pressure, how to focus and how to stick with protocols to actually get things done. And that really has helped me in my later life. From there, I became a mortgage broker, going back now to 2003 to probably 2000 and 13, 14. I really came into my own when Facebook started introducing Facebook ads and so on. I've nearly spent now close to, last checked, just under $1 million in Facebook ads. And I built this page up to nearly 25,000 followers. It really got the attention at the time of a lot of mortgage brokers, and I started creating some trainings because I really fell in love with marketing. And so from then I created my own Facebook page. We've got nearly approaching 500,000 followers there in terms of my page. Of now, I love since 2014, I really got in full time into the marketing side, so the last 10 years now, and absolute passion for being able to help business owners like I did for my own businesses to be able to start getting leads, appointments, and sales. I've done lots of trainings of thousands of businesses around the world. We've got like 600 comments there all up of people that we've taken through different trainings. And so it's been an absolute pleasure, and the impact has been amazing to be able to have on business owners, especially small business owners who really don't know the road ahead of how to crack through this glass ceiling. And so now looking at the big picture here, we want to start looking at the customer journey. So let's just take a bird's eye view for a moment. We're going to talk about attract, engage, and convert. And I'll go into the 4 pillars a little bit later. But for now, I want to just wrap your head around what a lot of people, the big mistake I see. Like you want to attract the attention of someone, you want to be able to engage with them, and you want to be able to convert them into obviously a client. And we have to start looking at some clues in life, right? Undeniable truths. Like for example, human relationships, like dating, right? We really want to think about when people or business owners think about running ads, they forget about the middle part. They want to go straight from getting a lead to straight away having a new client. And so they go from attract, and rather than bringing flowers to the date, right, which is like offering, for example, a free guide. Here we have a financial planner, generated 886 inquiries for only $16.89 each. Here we've got, for example, a podiatrist, Louise, who generated 898 inquiries into business for only $8 each. And that's because rather than going straight for the kill and having a campaign that goes straight to, well, come in and let me look at your feet and help you fix it, it started off with a pain point, and that was 3 steps in this example to soothe, heal pain at home. How do you craft something that's an offer that gets somebody a little bit closer, either away from a pain point or towards an unfulfilled desire? And that starts a conversation. Here's another one. We've got Deborah. She is a parenting coach, generated 603 inquiries for only $4.95 each. That was a killer campaign. She's got a testimonial too there. A company that has your interest at heart, no hard sales, just solid and honest advice for you to consider before hiring their service. 25 plus calls booked per week into her coaching business. Again, you can go to her YouTube channel and listen to her story. She's amazing. And here's our YouTube channel for you who want to check it out. It's Andrew Krauksts, Krauksts. Have a look at it. You'll be able to go through some of these success stories and really see, besides some of the instructional videos I've got there for you as well, to help you build your business. So let's go back to the engage part. See, the problem is what most people do, they approach it like, imagine meeting, a guy meeting a lady and straight away just going, hey, I just want to propose. You want to get married? I want a wife. And, being kind of met with this little bit of a blast in the face. But that's really what I'm seeing all the time when people run ads. And first of all, they talk about their service, which is already the wrong way to run an ad. And then they also just straight away want to go for, enrolling as a client, jump on a call with me, and it all happens too quick. Then it becomes almost like a desperate situation. And hey, then you're at the stage 5 clinger, abort, right? When you start to really hammer someone too hard with trying to get them on the phone. How can I help? What can I do for you? All that stuff works for most coaches, consultants, and service providers when they're used to working with referrals. Because referrals inherently come with trust, because there's a transference of trust from the referral source, which makes it so easy. There's no marketing or sales involved because your referral source has taken care of that. But when you go to the open market, it's kind of like a person that says, I'm really good with the ladies, but he's in an arranged marriage. It was pretty easy, he just didn't have to stuff it up. Now take that same person, if they didn't have their arranged marriage, and you put them at the club and go, or at the gym, just approach someone, it's a different story when, stranger alert, all right? And it's not that easy to start a conversation. And that's the biggest problem I see with people that start doing marketing. You want to go back to a bit of a dating process to get that know, like, and trust factor. So how do you bridge that gap in business? How do you do that? And so the easiest way is, first of all, which no clues here, that's the simple one. That's the easy one you should tick off. You should have some software in place where you've got some email marketing that's really focused on delivering value. Don't send out emails saying, book in with me, what time's good for you. It's not going to do it. People are highly skeptical and non-trusting. Your email should really be about education, giving value in the emails that get your prospect a little bit closer towards the unfulfilled desire or away from a pain point, a piece of the puzzle, if you will. If you do that as a byproduct, you position yourself as more of an expert, which is a bit more compelling for them to want to speak with you because they view you as the expert by the mere fact that you're teaching them something. That in itself positions you as the expert and the know, like, and trust factor. And so you kind of want to be able to do that really well. We also talk about some AI stuff, which I'll talk about in a moment, but the most important thing is the copywriting, the messaging, and how the language you use in the emails that can instill that warmth, that trust in the way you communicate and what you actually write in there. Being able to do that will instantly position you in a way of a system where you can watch your Netflix on some Saturday night, and happened to one of our clients, and he was amazed when he looked at his phone and he had appointments being booked in by being able to have this kind of a nurturing effect. And so we're only really touching now on the second pillar here, which I'll clarify this in a moment. There's still a few other pillars that you need to have. And so this is all before you can get to the convert stage. You have to have an irresistible offer. Now, an offer for a client is all about them and not you. The common mistake that I constantly see is people look at what they can fulfill on, and then they're trying to create an offer and then put that offer down somebody's throat. And that's not how you should do it. You should think more about your ideal client profile, what it is that they want, craft an offer around what it is they need and want, and then wrap your fulfillment around that offer. It's a distinction, but an important one. You want to be able to have a machine in place that takes care of a lot of moving parts. Again, I'll go a little bit deeper in a moment. But when you get that right, like even here, 8 leads, $3.53 each. Here we've got a business coach, 63 inquiries at only $15.25 each. Now these are only still front end metrics. We're going to go deeper into this, which is really important. Again, having full on sales calendars booked. So what are some metrics you look at? Well, from being found, the awareness with the ads, you might look at leads somewhere between $5 and $50. Appointments, qualified appointments, could be anywhere between $50 to $350. And then in converting a client, right, this is your cost per buying a client, could be like $100 all the way up to $1,000 or more. Now, please understand, unit economics is really important here. I've got one company we work with. They're a training company. This lady generates new clients for under $100, and she makes back around $900. It works out incredibly well. I've got another client. It costs him $2,000 to get a new client. However, he's in the property advisement space and makes about $20,000 to $30,000 per client. So the numbers, the unit economics make sense. Don't look at lead cost or cost per book call or client acquisition cost in isolation. How do these commercial metrics fit in with your profit and loss statement, and do they make sense? Because for some people, depending on the service offering, they might pick up a client for $50 or $100, and somebody else, it might cost them $3,000 to get a new client. But if they're making back $40,000 a client, it all works beautifully. So that's really important. Here we've got someone, 11 bookings booked in for $42.71 each. That's a return of ad spend of putting in $1 and getting $8 back, which is an incredible return. Here we've got a client, when he launched, he never was able to generate a lead before. And when you launch, within the first couple of weeks, already $5,000 in return.
I couldn't get a single lead prior to working with you, someone to opt in, give their name, phone number and email, and now we've had 106 in 2 weeks. Yeah, it's outstanding results.
So if all of this sounds interesting to you so far, and you go, well, Andrew, what's your solution? What makes you different? Then here's what I want to share with you. How are we able to get results like this for our clients? What is it that we do differently in order for it to work? And it's the 4B pillars. So the first pillar of the 4Bs is be found. You want to get very clear on your ideal client profile, their needs, their wants, their pain points, what keeps them up at night, what's their unfulfilled desire. And then you want to craft an irresistible offer, which is its own mechanism around that. And then you want to create a direct response driven compliant ad campaign that speaks directly to your perfect dream client to pulls in those leads. The same way we did for an NDIS business, 167 leads in only 4 weeks at only $12.50 each. Now the second pillar is, we talked about this earlier, is to build trust. With our clients, we give you a marketing software and we create your entire trust building communication process for you. All highly valued email communications to build that trust and get that know, like, and trust factor to position you as the expert that people are begging to work with you. So the first pillar is be found. The second pillar is build trust. The third pillar is book appointments. And we do that 3 ways. The first way is through that email communication. The second one is we actually install a custom AI sales agent into your business, which is Speed to Lead. This is a custom bot that we train under your business and your brand frequently asked questions, qualification questions, that reaches out within 60 seconds via text and starts a natural conversation. Like, for example, here it's the training company. It's Liz here. It's the same Deborah that just filled out one of our forms. Sure, brilliant. Thanks for getting back to me. Could you tell me what you're looking for? And then it goes into conversation and it books like clockwork, leads, qualifies them, and books them in. That's your third pillar. Be found, build trust, book appointments. Next up, you've been found, you're building trust. Now my appointment setting team will call each and every one of your leads and qualify them and book them into your calendar. Now our advantage is that we've got access to a commercial dialer. This means that we can actually get a higher pickup rate. This dialer, unfortunately, is out of reach for most small business owners due to its cost. With this commercial dialer, we are registered with the telcos. That means low spam, high compliance, high pickup rates. And we have workflows that our agents sit there that when a new lead comes in, it instantly triggers a call within minutes straight to this new lead, which is a much higher, strong likelihood of pickup and getting them converted straight into an appointment qualified for you. So no leads fall through the cracks. Now, lastly, the fourth B is boost sales. My team will coach you weekly on live Zoom sessions every week on scripting, objection handling, how to have a fun and effortless conversation, and enroll as many of these qualified appointments that you have into new deals. Because the reality is, if you're a referral-based business, it is very different in the conversation that you must have with a stranger that's highly skeptical and non-trusting. And so here what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're not just having great ads in place so you're found, having great systems in place to build trust, and then having more processes to really book a lot of appointments. We want to make sure you turn those appointments into clients. So these are the 4 pillars that every business these days must have. You have to have a way to be found. You have to have a way to be able to build trust with strangers. You have to be able to book appointments, have a booking calendar. We give you that custom for your business. Appointment reminder sequences to make sure they show up, integrated with your calendar. All these things are important to take care of each piece of the puzzle. Otherwise, you just got an ad to get the click, but you're not taking clicks to clients. And then you need to make sure you've got your sales processes dialed in. These days, people are not looking for information. We live in the information age. Times have changed. So a sales conversation these days is very different. It's more collaborative, it's more conversational, and it's more about answering the right questions and about being able to move the conversation forward into an enrollment in a very pressure-free way. So if this sounds interesting to you, then I invite you for a marketing demo with us. We'll talk about specifically how this would apply into your business, if we can help, of what an offer creation would look like, what a compliant direct response lead generation ad would look like, the trust building process, the appointment setting through Setters, what an AI sales agent in your business would look like. We'll even give you weekly business coaching. We have 2 sessions a week. We'll give you a demo on how everything would apply and look like in your business. And then you can let us know if that is also what you're looking for before we talk about possible next steps. So, but now you really know, in order to succeed in your business as a coach, consultant, or service provider, you have to be able to be found. You've got to be able to build trust. You've got to be able to book qualified appointments, and you've got to be able to turn those appointments into sales. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you inside the next one.